Hello. Welcome to our next chapter, that is your job work. So, job work, I hope everybody understands. For example, I'll give you a small example. For example, you have your shoes. These shoes you have already purchased, but these shoes require some stitching. So, what do? You take these shoes and you give them to the cobbler. That boss, please help me stitch these shoes. So now these goods belong to you. That other person is only using these goods to provide a supply of goods or services on these goods itself that you have provided. So in such a case, that person, this goods you have given to them on job work, because these goods actually belong to you. You are providing them, they will give some value addition and they will give it back to you. So this is your example of job work. So any treatment or process undertaken by a person on goods belonging to another registered person. So if a registered person gives any goods for any services, in such a case, this will be treated as a job work. So now your job work is basically there are two people. One is your principal and second is your job worker. So though the person to whom the goods belong, who gives the goods to the job worker is the principal, and the person who does the process or the treatment is called the job worker. So your principal's premises is, of course, it could be your warehouse, your office, etc. And there are your job worker premises. These are the two places. So goods were originally here and then they are transported to your job worker. So when they are transported, when your inputs or your capital goods are transported, of course, this is not a supply. This is not a supply between principal and job worker, because your job worker does not actually buy these goods. He is only doing some process and he is going to return these. So therefore, during transportation, when the goods are being transported, a delivery challan will be issued. Okay. Next, from when suppliers premises from where goods have been purchased by the principal. So what happens in some cases, the principal purchases the goods from a person. For example, A purchased goods from B. So A purchased goods from B. What would happen? B would send the goods to A, and then A would send the goods to J, a job worker. So instead of doing this, what do people sometimes do? A purchases the goods from B. The invoice will be issued in the name of A, but instead of from B to A and A to J, the goods will directly go from B to J, that is from the supplier's premises to the job worker's premises. So if the goods are directly going from supplier premises from where the goods have been purchased by the principal. So if the goods are directly going from B to J, if the goods are directly going from B to J, in such a case, of course, your inputs and your capital goods, of course, there will be no tax, because this is not a supply. Goods being transported between your B and your job worker is not a supply. Your actual supply is only the transaction between A and B. So in such a case, these goods will be transported to the job worker premises. So these are your two scenarios. Either it will directly go from the principal's premises to the job worker, or it will go from the supplier's premises to the job worker. I'll just erase this so that we can read our other points. So now these goods that have been sent to the job worker, there should be a specified time within which these have to be returned. So in case of inputs, if you have sent inputs, these have to be returned to the principal within 1 year, which can further maximum be extended for another period of 1 year. So you have to remember, in case of inputs, these goods have to be returned within 1 year or a maximum additional period of 1 year. And in case of capital goods, it is 3 years, which can maximum be extended for another 2 years. If goods are not returned, within this time limit, so if goods are not returned, it will be deemed to be supply. You remember, I told you, we are not treating as supply, we are not charging any tax, because this is just a job work. However, if these goods are not returned, to the principal within the time limit, it will be treated as supply. It will be deemed supply on date when goods were sent to the job worker. That is the original date when you had actually sent the goods to the job worker. It will be deemed to be supply, that what this was a supply from that very particular date. It does not take more than 1 year. It does not take more than 1 year to do any service on inputs, or any more than 3 years to do anything on capital goods. Therefore, this we will be treating as supply, and you will be liable for tax and interest from the entire period. It is not applicable in case of molds, dies, jigs, or fixture or tools. That means this time limit is not applicable for them. This the job worker can keep with him. Next, option with principal to directly supply goods from job worker premises by declaring it as an additional place of business. What happens? What happens over here? Who are the parties? A sent goods. A sent goods to the job worker. Now, instead of job worker sending these goods back to A, what can A do? The goods are already ready. Whatever things he needed, the goods are already ready. So instead of these goods coming back to A can directly sell these goods to a seller, to a purchaser. Sorry, let's name it buyer. B is already done. Okay, so let's name it C as a consumer. So A can directly sell the goods to the customer. How? By declaring this job workers premises as an additional place of business. Okay, so there are two. One is principal place of business and second is additional place of business. So the principal's own place of business will be your principal place of business, and your job worker's place of business will be an additional place of business. So instead of goods coming back to A, these goods can be directly given to C. So option with principal to directly supply goods from your job worker premises by declaring it as an additional place of business. Declaration not required if your job worker himself is registered. So if your job worker is also registered, this declaration is not needed, and supply will be regarded as supplied by the principal. That means even if the goods are directly going by the job from the job worker's premises to the customer's premises, it will still be treated as supply between A and C. Principal eligible for ITC even if goods directly sent to job worker premises before being brought to his premises. That means of course, because the supply is made by him and the person from whom he has bought it. So even if the goods never touch his premises, he will still be eligible for ITC. And last part is e-way bill will be required irrespective of value if your principal and your job worker are in different states. So this we've already done in e-way bill. If your principal and your job worker are in different states, e-way bill will be required. There is no concept of 50,000 or etc. E-way bill will be required if principal and job workers are in different states. And with this, we are done with the job worker. Very small chapter, nothing to worry about. And I'll see you in the next video, that is offenses and penalties.